pipe. And again, I thought, oh, I could use PVC to make this. This is a PVC T that I cut, three-quarter inch T fitting, and this is just a coupler. A coupler joins two pieces of PVC, and so I kind of sanded right here, and this whole thing just a little, mostly right here, so it would look just like the picture. How it's kind of sanded down here a little bit, and this is your scope. Now to get the scope having something to sit on, I needed to be a little creative, and when I've worked with things in the past, I've seen these little L shaped. They're just kind of like this. It's an L shaped fitting, and what it is it's kind of for giving support to like shelves and things like that. These are the 2-inch ones, so it's 2 inches long, 2 inches long, and these are 4 of these right here. And I used clamps and super glue to glue them together. Now they come with little holes in them already, and that's so you can drill them into something. But they're just 4 pieces clamped together, different glue points, and I had to glue it twice because I used 2 clamps here like this, and then 2 clamps here like this to glue together. I used Gorilla Glue at first, and that stuff stinks for metal. I don't know how it is in everything else, but super glue has held it a lot better. And this is the support for the scope, and I wanted to be able to take it apart. So I drilled out the big holes on this end so I could fit the drill through the holes and screw it in here and still be able to remove it when I'm done. And so if you see, if I have I'll have to adjust this, but there we go. So it slides in right there like that, and now I can screw this in by putting a bit that'll actually fit. I had to buy a bit that would fit through the hole. Now you can glue it all together and not even do this, but I wanted to be able to take it apart afterward if it doesn't seem like it needed to be adjusted, or if I want to fix something. I wanted to be able to take it apart, so I'm screwing things together and I'm gluing non-essential things on. So eventually, this will be screwed in here with some things. And look how that looks really close to it. I'm going to make a little circular thing right here. It looks like the black circle in the picture. Let's see how that looks. Very similar. Those are really similar proportionally. And that's the thing. You have to just remember, proportionally is what you want to be looking like. Looking really good proportionally. So similar, even though this is bigger, mine, when I get it painted and everything, it's going to look a lot like the picture. You see that? That's pretty close to what it's going to come look like. I still have to make a trigger, and I took my Dremel and I stuck it up in here and drilled this out. You could probably do that with a knife. You could just glue something right there. I'd like to make it a functional one, but that would cost a lot more money, and I'm trying to make this a budget version. So now the front, so these are 3 pieces. This is a piece cut off here. This is a piece for this piece right here. It's just a small piece. This is like 2 of these, but it's actually just 1 piece. It's a coupler, and this is the T that I cut out the top and cut off the side. And I'll show you why I cut off the side here in a minute. So this is what it looks like down the barrel. The other thing was I had this in the garage, so I didn't have to go get it, but I just kind of sanded it. It was a black piece. If you look at the end of this, it has a little black thing on the end of it, and so I kind of thought this would be kind of fun to use. I might stick an LED in here to make a light come out the end when it's turned on. So next, I needed a trigger. I needed a front sight. So I kind of had some plastic in the garage that was from, this is from a blind that I took apart, and I kind of just bent it, sanded it, and I think I used some heat on it to get it to bend and lock up, like a hairdryer. If you put a hairdryer on plastic, it'll actually let you meld its shape. And I'm going to use the Dremel to cut and slide this in here. And then this is all going to be painted black, just like the picture. And the bottom will be painted white, just like the picture. See that? And then, so these pieces were kind of fun. They're really hard to put together. These are actually popsicle sticks. If you look at those, I've got them glued on pretty well. If you look at those, if they're not too close, they're popsicle sticks. And what I did was I cut off the edge with a razor blade. This is where I used the razor blade. Be very careful with razor blades. Use gloves if you can, leather gloves, and then it won't come with your finger, because I cut my finger a couple times. And I'm using gloves to hold this because I don't want my fingers to get grease on this and not have the paint stick. So there's 5 of these, and if you look at the picture, I had to kind of go off the picture. There are these little groove things on the actual outside, and they kind of give it some three-dimensionality, some more defined shape. And so I took the razor blade and I cut into a popsicle and made these kind of things. And then I would take a long popsicle and slice it diagonally, and then I would glue it together. You could even use tongue depressors if you wanted to, but I glued it together so that it would be nice and long. So you had to take without cutting it in half, take a long one and slice it diagonally, or slice it in half the short way, like this, and then glue 2 pieces together so you have a big long one. Trim the ends so that it's kind of like this. So if you look at the picture, the ends are kind of trimmed to be a little pointy. And so I made mine a little pointy. Mine are a little bit more pointy than the picture, but I like them. And then use super glue to glue them together, as well as, actually wood glue. I used wood glue in this because wood glue works really well with wood. Then I used the long skinny ones. I'd cut them in half with the razor blade and then glue them onto perpendicular, or kind of opposite. And so that's the effect you get. And then I use super glue, works really well. Super glue glued these onto the plastic really well. And so this is super glued on directly to the plastic. So I'm going to paint all this black. Now the white dots down here, you see those? What I'm going to do is just I'm going to take a hole punch, like for paper hole punch, and I'm going to after I paint it black, I'm going to take the hole punch and hole punch white sticker paper or white label paper, and hole punch little holes. So I'm gonna make this design with just holes. I could drill holes through it, but I think it'd be too hard to get them looking really good. So I'm just gonna put white dots on here from hole punches. And then on the side, I made this little box. It's kind of my own little invention. It's supposed to be this box here on the side. And what it is it has a little LED in it, so that I put a 9-volt battery in an LED so that I can turn on, and I'm going to glue it right into this flat spot right here with some glue, and I might have to find some other creative ways to attach it, but it's supposed to give it more of a look like that. Give it the LED light can be seen if you see the light in there, and then it's kind of like an ammo pouch or something like that. I kind of had to estimate this one. This is all just pieces of wood that are glued together, and I can't remember what these are. I think it's 2 by 4 inches long and 1 inch, about 1 inch wide. And I kind of dremeled the lines right there so that I could get that in there. And I used a toy on-off switch connected to a 9-volt battery. You need like a 300 to 400 ohm resistor, and you need to connect that to the LED. LED technology is really hard to kind of get, so you want to watch some tutorials on how to do LEDs. But they're pretty easy once you play with them a little bit. If you hook them up wrong, they'll fry the LEDs, so be ready to buy a couple if you're just experimenting. You don't need that light though, but this will still look good right here. When this is all painted black, like this thing is black right here. You see that it's black. And then this thing I took off my son's, one of his old guns. You could build this out of wood. It'd be a little bit harder. This is just an ammo thing from one of my son's guns that I cut off. And I'm just going to glue it on right here because it looks just like the piece from the real gun. It looks just like it. It looks so much like it. If you get a piece from the side, and then this white cap goes in the end to make it look like, if you see some pictures. And so I had to kind of play around with the dimensionality and how do I line these all up so that they look proportionally correct. Like this will go here, glued on. This will go here, glued on. And then this will go here, glued on. This one actually I'm going to screw on because I want to be able to take that off. Like I said, take this off and be able to adjust things. And then painting it is all I have to do after that. You know, there's some silver parts, some white parts, some black parts. And once I get them all painted and glued on, then I'll make another video and show you guys the final product. So thanks for watching, and sorry I'm off centering that already. I hope you like it, and don't be paying crazy prices on eBay. It is going to be about, I'm telling you right now, all this is probably 20-30 hours worth of work, but it's been kind of a challenge, and I wanted to see if I can do it. You might have some fun with it, and then save yourself like $130, $120 by not buying on eBay. So anyways, have fun, and may the force be with you.